375 seasons. That's what I've experienced in these years. And my first season was in the fall of 1931, October the 3rd, and I was pulled unceremoniously out of my mother's abdomen by the doctor. Cesarean. And I understand from recent research that we get a lot of bacteria that is healthy when we are born vaginally. When we're pulled out, we miss a lot of material that gives us a way of dealing with the diseases that are common in children. So I got every one of them, and I got 3 bouts of rheumatic fever. My mother really provided love for me, and I remember one song from her, and the songs have been important in my life. This one was, "Sweetest little fella, everybody knows. Some don't know what to call him, but he's mighty like a rose. Looking at his mama with eyes so shiny blue, makes you think that heaven is coming close to you." So that song, plus others that my father sang, he was a baritone and he played the guitar. My mother was an alto and played the piano. And I remember during the times I was in the bed for those many years, I think like 3, 5, and 6, and 8. I spent 3 to 6 months in bed in the living room, and the piano was just off to my left, and they were providing music for me. And my dad would rub my by the way. When I knew he loved me because he would take care of my swollen wrists and my swollen legs. And we listened to Segovia play the guitar. And music was a part of, at least songs were a part of my early life. And I'm thankful for that because I learned to pronounce words with a little hum. Otherwise, I could start a word by my own song, my own name was Glenn, and my last name was Putman. So I learned to say Glenn, Putman, so I could hum. And it was wonderful to be able to sing from the time I remember the first song until one I just gave you. But I've sung all my life, and songs are representative of feelings that I've had, feelings with clients that I've had. But the song went out of my life as a child when I was 10 years old, almost 11, when my mother died in childbirth, this time with a cesarean where the doctor left a sponge inside, and she died on August the 16th. So falls have not been all that good for me, because when we moved to the farm, my father moved with his mother-in-law, my grandmother, and her husband, who was a minister. And he met a wonderful little, beautiful young lady working on the farm next door to ours, and married her, so I had a stepmother. And she had 2 children. And on November the 16th, 1946, an explosion shook the house at 7 o'clock. Fire came up through the register in the bathroom, and I ran out of the house next door, November 16th, with frozen ground, and I don't remember the cold, but I ran next door to the Steens, where he was the supervisor of the next farm, and called the fire department. Came out in about 15 minutes. The house had been totally burned down, flames up in the air. My father had gasoline all over him, and the little baby next door in the baby tent had gas all over her. How do you get a gas can? Well, we have a motorboat, and we have a red gas can on the porch with gasoline in it, Right next door to it is a red can with coal oil that we put in the living room furnace. You know, those old kinds before we had air conditioning. And he had poured gasoline into the stove, the Monarch stove, to light the fire to get it going early. Like we all do when you do charcoal, you spray something on it to get it going. Well, you don't spray gas on it because it blew up the can, gas all over him. And he died at 11 o'clock that day. And so my marriage was to a woman at college in Redlands, which I was 29 when I got married. So that was 14 years later. I married her because she had a mother and father that liked me, loved me, and cared for me. So I reestablished a family with her, and I think I married her for the wrong reason. It was to have a family instead of having the love of my life. But before I married her, I wanted, because my best friend aboard ship died of polio on 1953 aboard ship, and we were friends and we went everywhere together. He died, I felt bad, but I was hypochondriac because of my early childhood. I went to sick bay and got some, I think it was central drugs. And so I didn't die, he did. And I dedicated my life to God, and I was going to be a minister because of that. My grandmother wanted me to be a minister, and I knew that if I was a minister, I would never go to hell. And also, when I got my Volkswagen crashed in 1955, when I was still in the Navy, and I don't remember much about it except the truck driver said, "I tried to miss you." And I said, "Well, where's my car?" And he said, "It's over there in the gully." Apparently, he ripped off the left side of my car. I broke my left elbow and my left foot, and the back of my head bled profusely. A couple of Marines came by going back to Oak Harbor, and they got me in the car. I don't remember anything, except in the morning, the next morning, I was in Bremerton Naval Hospital, and I woke up with my arm above my head and sling. And they said, "We'll fix it as soon as the swelling goes down." I got a call yesterday from the VA saying they wanted me to come in and have an evaluation of my TBI, my elbow and my foot, to see if I'm eligible for become a disability. And of course, I'm not eligible for disability, but I still may be able to be certified for non-compensation disability, and that I can, if something happens to me between now and 100 that I need to be in a retirement center, I'm eligible to go to the VA, isn't that? So I got something wonderful out of the car wreck. So this has been my attitude since I was in seminary and had a little boy that I was required to do Sunday school, teaching the Baptist way of religion. Well, I tried to, but he would listen to me by feeling what I was saying. And you know, the only time he smiled when I was singing with the Congregational Church, the pipe organ was vibrating, and he was smiling because he was feeling good about the vibrations that were going on. I was supposed to take him to the Baptist church where the minister talked for half an hour. He kept saying, "What?" And I would say, "Nothing." And we went to the Congregational Church, the minister spoke for 10 minutes, and the choir was huge, 60-voice choir. It was wonderful singing, and he loved the Congregational Church. So I wasn't a Congregationalist, I was a Baptist. And the professor in the class asked me to think about God and come back after Christmas vacation and say what you thought about. And I came back and said, you can't think about God. God doesn't exist. He only shows up when we are in a relationship with another person where we feel love, compassion, and kindness. I dropped out of seminary. They were praying for me. And I became a probation officer and then went to USC, got a degree in social work, became a social worker for 60 years, helping people to learn to love themselves regardless of the disease or dysfunction they had. I used to introduce myself by saying, you know that you're diagnosed with a terminal illness, but I'm going to die also. And my concern is that I have a wonderful experience before I die. And I want you to be able to have that also. So at least you can enjoy what's going on now. At least one day, one hour, or one time a day, you get to enjoy yourself before you die. And I'll be here to support you in doing that. And one woman, 93 years old, terminal cancer, who said, I'm afraid to die because I'm going to go to hell. And I asked, tell me about that. She said, when I was 17, I had sex before marriage, and I know I'm going to go to hell because I'm a sinner. And I told her the story about Jesus saying the person right next door to him on the cross could be with him in paradise, that it was okay, come with me, come to paradise. So I sang her the song, I come to the garden alone with the song of roses. He walks with me, he talks with me, he tells me I am his own. Right now, I held her hand and sang the song because I was a Christian one time. If I weren't a Christian, I wouldn't have known that song. So I benefited by being a Christian. Right now, I'm not. I don't even have a religion because a religion means you believe in something supernatural. Most people's religion now, I think, is dollars, God, it's money. But my belief is that when I practice loving myself with kindness and compassion and share that love with all sentient beings, including all of you sentient beings, that I've accomplished my goal in life.